In this video, we are going to be discussing the matrix visual. We're going to be discussing the matrix visual in Power BI. But before we get started, what I want you to do is scan the QR code. Scan the QR code, follow the link, input your email address, and you will have joined our community. Scan the QR code, follow the link, and put in your email address, and you will have joined the community. Now, what is the community? The community is the community of CTOs. That's right, join the community of CTOs. So, as a member of the CTOs, what do you get? You get absolutely free the weekly newsletter. I know you say you get 1,000 million billion emails, but this is not just any newsletter. This is the CTOs newsletter, the Power of the BI newsletter. And what do you get? You get access to our free job portal, our free Power BI job portal. That's right. You get access to our free Power BI job portal. It's the only job portal that's out there that I know of that's only Power BI exclusive, right? Only Power BI exclusive. And I know this is Power BI exclusive because I curated the jobs myself using AI that I created. Now, with that said, you want to have access to this Power BI jobs portal if you're looking for jobs specifically for Power BI. The other thing is our weekly webinar. You get access to our weekly webinar. It's held every Thursday, 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. You get free access to our weekly webinar. In addition to that, you get the information first and foremost when it comes to our live events around the country. That's right, I do live events around the country, all about Power BI. And you get the information about it first. Now, here's the deal. I'll be totally honest. The live events are not 100% free, but you get first access, you get first information on it, and you get discounts on the live events. In addition to, I have a complete equipment list of what is needed to set up your Power BI home office, so that you would be ready to move and ready to bake and shake as soon as you get that Power BI job. So with that said, I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to jump right into the video. Welcome back to another lesson in the power of the BI. Welcome back to another lesson in the power of the BI. So actually in this lesson, it's actually a lesson that I created before, but for some reason, my file broke. Yeah, my file broke. So here's the deal, man. Please understand that one, you need to save everything you do. Now, with that said, I did save my file, but for some reason it just won't work. But always save your files. Whenever you're creating a report, save every 5 minutes or so. Try to save every 5 minutes or so. So you'll always have the most recent iteration. Even though you may have to go back and do something over, you don't have to go back and start and do the whole thing over. But in this particular lesson, I am going to go back and I'm going to do the whole thing over. I've actually gone through several classes that I've created videos for. And now I'm going to go back and create this one. This one is actually on Matrix. This is actually the Matrix project, the Matrix video. Of course, this video is after the table video. And the reason why it's after the table video is because it is very similar to the table. It is very similar to the table with the exception of, or with the addition to, you're able to go in, you can expand and minimize the different values or elements that you're working with. So with that said, without no further ado, I'm going to go right into this, and I'm going to it's going to look very much like creating the table. And of course, it's right next to the table. The table is here. The matrix is here, which is right over to the right of the table. It's very much like the table, but to identify that it's the matrix, it has the blue on the bottom x-axis and on the y-axis going up on the opposite side of the origin. So just like we did with the table, we brought it out and we're going to go over it and we're going to grab data for the matrix visual. The data that I'm going to grab is going to be in the, I want to say sales customer. Yep. So I'm going to bring in territory ID in the rows, and I'm going to bring in store ID. Now in the table visual, everything was in columns. In the matrix, we have columns and rows. So the two elements I'm going to bring in on the rows is the territory ID, and then I'm going to bring store ID under territory, because as you can see, as I brought in the territory in the store, now we've got a plus sign. So we're showing territory 1 and store number 204. Again, I'm going to take store ID out. Now we see that the territory IDs are territories from 1 to 10. And then I'm going to bring in the store ID. And the store IDs are going to be under, because in every territory there's a store in the territory. So that's why we're expanding and minimizing by territory. So if we expand territory 1, we'll see all the stores in territory 1. If we expand territory number 7, we'll see all the stores in territory number 7. In the perfect world, you're not going to have the same store in 2 IDs. In 2 territories. If the store is in the northern territory, is in the north. For instance, if there's a Macy's in New York, that Macy's falls under the New York territory. It's not going to fall under the New York territory and under the California territory, unless it's like something funny with the companies. But for the most part, that's what we're looking at. We've got 10 territories, and we've got a number of stores in each territory. So we're able to minimize and maximize and minimize. Just like we did with the tables, now we're going to find the values and bring the values into the column field so that we can see the value in the territories and the value in the stores. So let's see, what do we have? What do we want to work with? Subtotal. As a matter of fact, let's do this. Let's do this first. So in territories, now we're going to bring in total due into the columns. No, we don't want that into the columns. Why don't we want that into the columns? Let's take out, not in columns, it's in values. We're going to bring in total due, and that is a value. So now we see territory ID 1 has 18 million in total due, and territory ID 10 has 8 million in total due. Now we're going to expand territory 3, because 3 shows we have 8.9 million in territory 3. If we expand, now we can see in territory 3, we see all the stores in territory 3, and then it shows us all the values for each one of those stores that make up the total of the 8.9 million in territory 3. Same if we do territory 7. We can see all the stores in territory 7. Then we can see all the values of the total due in territory 7. Let's find another value just to look at it from a column aspect. Tax amount. So we want to look at the total tax amount. We're going to bring that under total due. And now we see that we've got the bold dark is showing us, the bold black is showing us the, well, we've got to expand first. The bold black is showing us the total amount in the territories, and then when it fades out, it's showing us that we've maximized the territory, and now we can see the total territory. Well, we can see the stores in the territory that make up the total territory, if that makes sense. Let's find one more value. And that's probably all I'm going to play on. Let's see, subtotal, total due, and subtotal. Let's bring subtotal over tax amount. It could be before tax amount or after tax, or it could be before subtotal. Tax amount could be before subtotal. Subtotal could be after. We can put these columns in any order we want to. This is just the order that I want, just to show total due. We could actually switch and say total due is at the end, And we got the subtotal, we got the tax amount, then we got the total due. So now we see we can add as many columns into our matrix as we want. We can expand and minimize as we would like. And let's see, if I come over, I am actually looking for something specific. Let's see, account number. No, it's not what I'm looking for. I may not be able to find it here. Probably should. Oh yeah, here we go, right here. Product ID. So we have territory and store ID, but under the, so in every store, in every territory is a store, and in every store is a product. So I'm going to bring product ID under store ID. So now you'll be able to see we're going to be able to maximize and minimize by 3 elements as opposed to 1. So we got territory ID, we maximized territory ID 4, we found all the stores in territory ID 4, and now we're going to maximize the products that are in territory ID 478, and we see all of the products that are in store 78, and of course, again, that is giving us that total amount that we were looking for. This subtotal down here really doesn't mean a whole lot to me, so I'm going to come over to format, and I am going to say column subtotals. I want to turn that off. And it appears that I may even have row subtotals somewhere. And it's trying to minimize that, but that is actually, wait, let's see. 5, 6, 7, 8. These are these 4-digit numbers. Now we minimized 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These 4-digit numbers here are not. So now we've minimized everything, and they say we've got a row total somewhere, and I want to take that out as well. We don't need any totals on the rows. So now I just went over to format, and I went over to, well, I have to highlight the matrix first, format, and then I went over to the visual, and I found column subtotals. If I turn it on, doesn't get too tricky, but if I turn on a row subtotal, it gives me the row subtotal. And I don't want the row subtotal, so I'm gonna turn that off, and the column subtotals too. I'm gonna turn that off. And if I come over, just trying to see what is that column subtotal doing. Can't tell. Maybe if I bring it down. Yeah, it's adding somewhere. Can't tell where it's adding at, so I'm gonna just turn it off. So we're not necessarily trying to do subtotals, but that show you how to find the subtotals. So this is the difference. This is matrix, and this is the difference. What we're doing here with the minimizing and maximizing is basically the difference between creating a matrix and creating a table visual. So this has been the lesson on matrix. Thank you for joining in on this video, and I look forward to seeing you win again in the next video.